Did you have a relationship with your second child's mom? How did that
I
go?
was married. It was really toxic and nasty. I just recently got divorced.
Okay. Did the addiction play a part in that?
Nah, not for me. I think in the sense that I was addicted to a bad relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like being addicted, the same addiction translated into toxic love addiction. And so, but drugs didn't affect that relationship. It was just more like I should have left a long time ago,
Right.
but willing to take the abuse and the suffering that I experienced inside the relationship.
You think people get addicted to abuse and stuff like that?
Yeah, because it's like a roller coaster, like of up and down, and then you fight, and then you fuck, or you fight, and then you fix it, and there's serotonin and dopamines that are coming through it, and for me, I just had enough, and I needed to love myself because it was coming to a point where like I had never been involved in domestic violence or anything in those senses, and the relationship had led to a place that was just too toxic for me.
Is that when it all starts, loving yourself? When I say all starts, the road to like just tired of the nonsense, toxic relationships, using drugs, abusing drugs. I'm sure, listen, there's a lot of people I abused drugs at one point in time. I mean, I don't know if probably I was addicted, maybe I might not. And I'm just talking about marijuana. I think a lot of people just fall in that category of not really admitting that they're addicted or believing that they're addicted, but at the same time, they're always using some form of a drug or another, whether it's addiction to sex, addiction to like relationships, or addiction to alcohol, or whatever it might be. Well, I noticed you said you started to love yourself. Did you feel that you didn't love yourself before that?
I think for me, what has helped me transform is increasing my standards, right? And
What do you mean by that? Explain that.
Like like how I said, I'm from the Bay, bro. We don't use drugs.
Right.
That's a standard, right? Is I went to lower standards.
Gotcha.
Where my standard is now like, hey, we don't do drugs every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We do them sometimes.
Right.
So I had to change these type of things. Like I'm not willing to take that type of treatment. I'm not willing to do these type of activities. These are the levels and the standards that I'm willing to accept in my friendships and my relationships, and then how I treat myself. And yes, of course, like love. And for me, I have a relationship with God, and I believe in like Jesus and the Holy Spirit and shit.
Were you raised that way?
No, not at all. I had some like actual real life experiences. And,
real life experiences.
Yeah, I was later in my life. I failed out of college because of a particular situation that happened, and it affected my eligibility. And I basically had $500 left to my name, and I bought a RV from a crackhead, and I lived in this RV for like 3 or 4 months. And during that time, I prayed to God for one of my first times, and just asked if the Lord was real, to like show me He's real, and that I didn't ask. A fact that I have in the story is, for the first time, I told the universe or God that I believe it's real. Not like, hey, show me it's real. I said, hey God, I know I'm in this RV, but I know you're real, and I know you'll show up for me in major ways. And that was pretty much the prayer that I prayed, and pretty quickly my life changed.
Wow.
Different people came into it. Different people had messages for me. Different people had resources. And it just kind of reignited my hope and my faith, and just showed me that it's something that I could look into more. And, I still went on to have a drug addiction. It wasn't like God came into my life and I just was like fucking fixed. You know what I'm saying? It just was like the beginning of like the planting of a seed that is still getting developed, like as I do this interview with you.
That's dope. So when you finally started getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you started to love yourself and everything, did that start changing like your experiences in life, or like what type of changes did that? How did that affect you in like a positive way? And like some of the things that you're into now, like videography and songwriting, videos, being known and things like that. Relationships with your daughter, or,
Yeah, I think like with my parenting, it's a really big example. I think a lot of people struggle to be parents because, like, the love you give your children is an extension of the love that you give yourself. So if you're not really giving yourself a lot of love, like the type of love that you give to your kids is not really as pure as it, because you're not really setting an example. You're giving them like a watered down example. It's like, if you don't brush your teeth twice a day, like, well, how you gonna get your kids to brush their teeth twice a day?
Right.
Like, if you don't work out, how you gonna get your kids to work out? Like, and if you do get them to work out, but you're not working out, you like you force feeding them the game you want them to get, but it's not a message that you're gonna live. And so I did ruin a lot of friendships and relationships from the drug addiction. So uh, I think it was a rebuilding of integrity and learning how to follow through and deliver my gigs on time and do what I say I'm gonna do and not allow like a distraction of abuse to get in the way of my productivity or my integrity. And so I think that that's probably where I've seen the most change, is that once you're prepared, like the right customers come, the right relationships come. Like if you're not uh, attracting that and you're not putting out that you're ready for these things, you're really just gonna get it and fumble it. And so for me, like I work really hard at maintaining my friendships, maintaining my relationships, working on my co-parenting, working on my fatherhood. Like if I don't work on it, it doesn't really grow like that.